Hello everybody, this is Jason here, just kind of giving you a retrospective on how I feel about the Smackdown series, or the 2K series. Well, it's been 15 years since the 2K series was released. So, gonna kind of look back with 2K16 coming out in just a few months now. So what I'm going to be doing up until then is looking back on each one of the Smackdown / 2K games / Raw games that has been produced since then. Kind of giving you my own look back at how those games have been and how they've aged. Seeing as how first one, like I said, came out 15 years ago. So sit back, relax. This is kind of the intro for it. So let's go. Alright, so WWF Smackdown, or now WWE Smackdown, was released back in March of 2000. So I was close to I was around 15 when it came out. Going on 16. So one thing I did like about the game when it first started is the intro of it had the mixture of the show's intro from circa 1999 to early 2000 mixed in with the actual game footage from the show, or actual footage of the show. And so going through the menus, I looked at the creator wrestler first because, you know, like most people, want to try to create it first. So I did. There wasn't much to it. So, with only a few models here and there you can select as far as like what your head's going to look like versus what your torso's going to look like versus what your lower body looks like. So that was kind of a letdown. There were no vocals whatsoever. So it'd show cutscenes, and then during the cutscene, there would be text. Yeah, I don't play video games to read them. I usually play them to watch. I usually play them to watch them, to immerse myself in them. But hey, I gave it some slack. It was a late PlayStation 1 game. Now, and the graphics are good for nearing the end of the PlayStation 1 life cycle. I mean, you know, I wasn't really expecting movie quality graphics that we have today on the first outing by THQ. The other thing I noticed is that it doesn't do the nameplates for the different pay-per-views. So it's like if you're going to have your wrestler wrestle at, say, a WrestleMania, it doesn't show the WrestleMania's nameplate like it would in the later games. It only shows the nameplate with the WWF logo, which now I'm pretty sure would be the WWE logo. The AI was the dumbest AI I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of dumb AIs, but I'm glad it improves in later editions of the game. Now, there's no way to tell, as far as during a match, there's no way to tell when your opponent is actually on the edge of laying down for a 3 count or submitting. The interface only really shows the bar that tells you when you're ready to do your finisher, but doesn't get that far to actually let you know. Like in the later games, it lets you know when they're about to submit. And as far as the matches go, so I played the season mode. Season mode was good, but it had a preseason mode and then a regular season mode. Come on now. The preseason mode was good. It helped me improve your creator wrestler, but that's about it. It's all it's good for. And as far as the arenas go, there's only a selection of 3. You can select the Smackdown arena, circa 1999, the Raw arena, circa 1999, or some generic pay-per-view or some generic arena that they created for the game itself. Now, as far as what events you can wrestle at, that's a slam pickin'. You can do Smackdown, you could do Raw, Or you could do any one of the big 5 pay-per-views that WWE used to have. And I say big, they used to have the big 5 because they took out King of the Ring. So you could really only wrestle at WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and now the extinct King of the Ring. The finish now at the end of the matches, there's really no celebrations per se. It's more or less just the wrestler who won, standing in the middle of the ring, doing his taunt. Now, as far as the superstar selection, there's 36 different wrestlers you can select from. 3 divas, roughly 33, if my math's correct on that, male wrestlers that you can select, which is good for the time. And they had, all the big names for the late 90s, early 2000s. So, all in all, old 15-year-old me probably would have gave this game a 4.5 out of 5. Now that I'm older, 15 years older, this game has not aged well. So, with that being said, I give this game 3.5 out of 5. Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the like button as well. And stay tuned for next week, where I'm going to be doing my retro review of Smackdown 2, Know Your Role.